Separate your money facts from your money beliefs. This will lead to empowerment and better results. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So this video builds upon my previous video about scarcity versus abundance mindset. It also builds upon my video that shows how your money beliefs drive your results. And I'm going to use all of that in a concrete example to show you how this plays out in the real world. Imagine there's this trip that you want to take, and this trip costs $2,000 estimated, and you can show that as a fact, which is something that can be proven. You can show that this trip, you estimate the lodging, the food, the travel, that's $2,000. Now also there's a fact that you only have $100 to your name and you're in debt, right? Those are facts about the money situation. Now you're going to have a lot of thoughts and beliefs about that money situation as well, given those facts. You're going to have thoughts about how exciting and fun that trip would be. And along with all of that, you're likely to have some money thoughts and beliefs about it. For example, I don't have enough money to take this trip. So notice how that is a thought. It's not a fact. Now this is subtle, yeah, because you're going to want to put that on the fact side, because you're going to be like, well, no, I don't have enough money to take this trip. So yeah, I just showed you it's $2,000 and I only have $100. But imagine that you no longer wanted to take this trip. Maybe a friend came back and told you how terrible this place was, and now there's no way you want to go there. Now you no longer have this thought, I want to take this $2,000 trip, which means you no longer have this thought that you don't have enough money. Notice also that when that happens, when that comes on the beliefs and thoughts side, that you could change that regardless. You don't need a friend's negative review coming back to you for you to want to make that change of your thought or belief. And this is where the power comes in, right? Because if you no longer put that on the fact side, if you put that on the beliefs and thought side, remember, you can just change those beliefs or thoughts whenever you want to. They're your thoughts, they're your beliefs. All of a sudden you have more control over the situation than what you thought. So what, right? I mean, you may still want to take that trip, right? So what do? Do you just have, you just figure out how to stop having wants and desires and thoughts and beliefs? Well, I guess you could join a monastery and maybe do that. But what can us mere mortals in a consumer culture do, right? Where we have wants and desires. Well, the first thing that you need to do is when there is a money situation, right? And that includes wanting anything that costs money, of course. You need to separate your facts from the beliefs about that. And this is where it can be tricky. And you need to be careful. Just like in our example where I showed you there was something that we wanted to put on the fact side, even though it was really a thought or belief. There are some things that you're probably very close to that are habits of thinking, that are patterns of belief that are so close to you that you've established for so long. You're very likely to, number one, not even see them in the first place. Number two, not want to see them. And number three, not want to call them into question if you do see them. Now, things like that, we tend to link to our identity, right? So we have a lot of beliefs and thoughts that we identify with very strongly if we've held them for long enough, right? And clues to that can be words like I am, I have, I need, I like, or I don't like. So for example, something like, I am just not that good at saving. Or I have the kind of mind that is really good at creative things, but not so good at numbers. Or I don't like dealing with financial stuff. Or I need my creature comforts, right? Now, again, because these are your identity, or you've identified with them, really, you're going to want to put those on the fact side of things. You're going to have years and years of experience and very likely a lot of confirmation due to confirmation bias why these things are true and they could be proven, right? But what you need to do in these cases is ask yourself, how could you prove them? Or how could you disprove them? That's what's going to separate your facts from your beliefs. That's what's going to really get at the examining of what we're talking about here. So this is a lot of hard work, but why is it worth it? And it's because of empowerment. We talked about that before with the example. And the empowerment comes from being able to see these beliefs and thoughts about the financial situation not as facts, but beliefs and thoughts that you can change. And what that does is it opens the door to transformation. It opens the door to you being able to ask better questions and get better results about your financial situation. So, for example, going back to our example, right? You can start inquiring within about things about, taking trips. For example, well, I get a lot of value out of taking these trips, but I never seem to have the money saved on hand when I want to take them. How can I get better at saving? What I really want out of life is fun and adventure. What are some other ways, maybe more local, maybe less expensive, that I can add to my choice of options to experience those feelings? I noticed in examining my financial situation some facts here, and that is because I'm in debt, I'm paying a lot of interest, but if I were not in debt, I could pay for a trip with just the interest that I saved. How can I get out of debt? You notice opening the door to questioning these established patterns of belief and thought makes it possible to ask better questions and get better results. And then finally, once you have that door open, the question that you need to ask then is, what is the first step I can take toward making the change that I want to see?